Hey, we know you work so hard for your money, and during the holidays, it's hard to stretch those dollars as far as they need to go. But we want you to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, let's keep you financially healthy in the new year. So we're putting ourselves to the test with the help of Daniel Gamez over here, a debt settlement attorney. So we don't want to have to call you.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
you're
my goal
pretty
for the
busy
new year.
around the first of the year, aren't you?
Well, yes, it slows down during the holidays. I think a lot of people like to put off what they're doing until after the new year starts. So we're getting ready for that now.
All right, well, let's put us to the test. You have some questions for us. We've got our bells here. And whoever rings the bell first, I guess we'll try to answer the question and get it right.
All right, sounds good. Let's start now. Remember, hands on the table.
Yeah.
Question number 1. How much of your monthly income should go towards paying off your debts? A, 25%, B, 15%, or C, 10%? Heather.
15.
That's right. That's right. And look,
15.
if you have a credit card debt, what you need to understand is that burying your head in the sand is not the answer. You need to come up with a plan to resolve your debt. So if you're facing debts such as credit card debt, medical bills, judgments, private student loans, you really need to take some kind of action on this.
But with those credit cards especially, I mean, if you just make the minimum payment, do you ever pay it off?
If you live long enough, you might. You know, if you do debt calculators, it takes 30, 40 years sometimes to pay off those debts.
Yeah, student loans.
So 15% of your income should go towards retiring debt.
That's right.
And do you, how do you recommend you retire it? The most expensive credit card first, the one that charges the most interest?
You want to look at the card that has the most interest and try to knock that one off first. Pay more than the minimum if you can, because obviously if you don't do that, then you're looking at paying for 30 years sometimes.
Right.
And that can get ugly. Okay, question number 2.
All right, question number 2. What is the average number of credit cards held by cardholders in the U.S.? A, 2 to 3, B, 3 to 4, or C, 4 to 5?
I'm going to say
Mark.
C, 4 to 5.
It's actually B, 3 to 4.
Well, that's
three and a
not
half
as
cards.
bad then.
Right. And you know, the thing to understand about credit cards is that it's really easy to just throw down that card, pay it off later, try to pay it off later, but what happens a lot of times is you can't pay it off. And then
Well, you just move to the next card.
You move to the next card,
Right.
and then you're facing massive amounts
We're
of debt.
getting insight into the Bailey family,
Yeah,
aren't we?
well, I mean, that's what happened. Well, I got to give my wife a lot of credit. I mean, we had a lot of credit card debt at one time, and she followed a very strict strategy of retiring the most expensive one first, making the minimum on the others. When she got the most expensive one retired, then she took that money, applied it to the second most expensive one, along with the minimum payment, and worked them all the way down. Retired a huge amount of debt that way. It took a little while, but she got us cleaned up.
That's huge.
And it's a good plan to have, and the thing to remember is that the good rule of thumb is if you don't think you can be able to pay it off at the end of the month, don't use your credit card to buy it.
And yeah, I mean, you need to, people really need to remember that, especially this time of year, doing all this holiday shopping. Okay, next question, number 3.
Next question, number 3. What's the best way to keep track of your finances? A, reviewing your checking account each day. B, balancing your checkbook the old-fashioned way. Or C, phone apps? Mark.
All of the above.
We'll say yes, but I don't know of anybody that balances their check. Well, maybe my dad. Nobody balances their checkbook by paper anymore, right?
You know what? Surprisingly, my husband still does, and he keeps a Post-it in his wallet of the current balance every single day. But I know that he's not the norm.
Wow, Miss Anal Retentive certainly married the right guy, didn't she?
There's somebody for everybody.
Well, look, with the advent of the smartphone and apps, it's really easy. There's lots of online things you can look at to help you track your spending every day, so you really get a good idea of what your budget is and where you're spending your money.
Right,
That's true. Okay, good.
But I think that's good. I commend Tyler for that. I mean, at least he knows what's going on. He's taking responsibility for it.
And I can never even find my wallet.
Right,
So.
okay, yeah.
All right, last question.
All right, last question is going to be true false. The average credit card debt in the U.S. household for 2013 is $10,000. Heather?
True.
It's false. It's actually higher, 15,000.
15,000.
15,000.
What does that
That's a lot of
include?
debt.
Is
You
it
know,
like
if
student loans and credit cards and mortgages and everything, or what are we talking here?
We're talking
just credit
card debt.
Just credit
wow.
card debt.
Yes, California does a little better. California is around the $10,000 to $12,000 range, but overall in the U.S., that's what we're looking at, 15,000.
Wow.
That's a hard way to start the new year, for sure.
All right. Well, if you don't want to be, Mr. Gamez's office here around the first of the year, then take some of these tips to heart and tighten it up a little bit. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.
We all
Thank
learned
you.
a little something. We're going to take a short break and Wake Up San Diego. We'll be right back.